Coming to you live in the AM at 0800 hours 54 minutes, Saturday, November 2nd. And I want to give a shout out to all the great African Descendant people that's the past who is not forgotten, the present, the now, and even the future, because I don't know when my time is up. So I want to give a shout out to everybody that made is a big part of the forwarding of African descendant people in a good, positive way. And I'm doing my part. That did more than me in the sense of they was in a position, they had their mission and their purpose, and they did it full blast. Don't matter. And one thing I want to say is, I don't give more or less credit to people that's trying. If a person's saying me, you will classify me. I don't mean just for what type of man am I or whatever. You will classify me based on things. You won't classify me based on me. You couldn't tell me. Nobody, and we don't do this. Why? And this is part of the discussion I want to have with you today. Why is it that we are not basing it on the person character? See, it's easy to say, look what he, she, and she did. Look what you doing. Well, that don't account for the people let's say if a person that's known, an actor, celebrity, or whatever we gonna call famous, a person that's in the spotlight, give to charity and create a charity. You see that, right? Because it's going to be talked about. What did I do? I want to ask you, what did I do? See, now, I can tell you, but what I did is not going to be televised. It's not going to be publicized, because I don't really talk about it. But I'll let you know I've done stuff. I've done a lot of things. And one of my things that I rarely see people doing, I walk up to young brothers and they don't know a lot of things, because I didn't know a lot of things. I knew I wanted to be better. I knew I wanted to be stronger, but I didn't have the right knowledge. See what I'm saying? The right information. And not because I didn't have enough money. I had to go through I'm fight. So imagine being in a poverty. In a sense, we was in poverty. Now fight up. People say, you stronger. So imagine the people that fight up that got stuck somewhere. You know why they got stuck? They didn't have an opportunity. It wasn't publicized. It wasn't uplifted. The imagery of them wasn't good. My imagery of me is not good. So it don't matter what I say and do unless it look a certain way. So in instance, we give props to a guy that used to be a gangbanger, he used to be part of a gang. How do you give less credit to the guy that never wanted to join the gang, that never did anything okay, he got in fights, but it was never with the malice of intent to murder, to practice those same evil demonic rituals where the gang was derived from. Because we supposed to I overcame those by watching, but within me. See what I'm saying? But he never overcame that. But he started doing things, but we act like we will forget about it. That's why I talk about where do bad karma go. And I want to give out a shout out to Reverend Dr. Charles Albert Titley, born July 7, 1851, and July 26, 1933. This is a history fact. I want to give more of these. He was a gentleman that helped compose We Shall Overcome. Then when I even looked it up and went to the library, We Shall Overcome, it showed us Caucasian people. This is the gist of my discussion today, singing the song. But the reason I speak on him, because this brother was self-taught, self-learned, self-seeking the knowledge. And a lot of people, we don't give credit. I'm one of those brothers too. Since that was amazing to see. He was I don't go by the religion, I don't care. But in this case, We Shall Overcome. He helped compose of the song. And if you didn't know that, now you know that He was an African Descendant gentleman that helped compose the song. And you can Google him and go read about him and everything else. And so the discussion of the day at 5:10. Discussion of the day is interracial love. Now, why I do parentheses is love, because I have not seen interracial love. What I have seen is interracial conformity. And this is not the diss, because when I write about interracial love, people say, "Oh, we all mixed," but then there's people that say, "No, we're really mixed. My mother is African descendant and my father is white, or Euro, or another race." If we haven't noticed that, the main imagery, I don't know how. Now, this is what I'm baffled by. African descendant people, how we keep saying only men was having mixed babies. I don't know, because when I check down in history, I see the mothers being mixed. I don't know if you all been paying attention. The father is usually the Hispanic guy, the white guy. I don't know where, if you pay attention, all of these women that so-called, and especially they doing it on, I feel like they doing it on purpose as well. The father is the mixed guy. It's same as the mother. If you want to look at all the famous mixed people, even Brother Malcolm, if I'm correct, that side, his mother side was more the African descendant side, and the father was the mixed side. But as Colin Kaepernick, his mother was white. So, and it's funny, it seems as when the father is the African descendant man, the child is more for African. I noticed that all of African descendant mixed friends that I had that had African descendant in them were more for it. So the topic is, what have interracial intermingling has done for us as a race? That's my question to everybody. What has it done? And if I can spill my little spew real quick, it has really done nothing. We talk about it and we haven't. It's the women, the men. We just went on and got us a woman. That's the thing. Like, as for men, even I spoke of it once because it came out. It poured out of my heart. It was saying, why is I am so pushed away by the same race women, but the same race women, we want to see better. My mother raised me better. But then why am I kicked away? Why is the same race women still wanting to love the man that give them nothing? And it's as the bad seed. You keep putting out bad seeds, bad wombs. You're gonna get bad. I don't care. Them spawns. What a spawn is. A spawn is a spawn. It's two demonic entities getting together and having a baby. It's called a spawn. You're not born, you're a spawn. We're being spawned onto the earth. It's a bunch of bad seeds. That sound crazy. That sound wrong. That sound messed up. But we gotta think about how, like, in actual truth and facts, like, as in that, we gotta really think about. Okay, wow, that do make sense. This child was not born to a father that was in his life. Or, I'm not saying that man or woman, we know, I'm sorry, and I'm not sorry about this, if a woman shows, this is the grace about some people. Some people change when they have a baby, but for the most part, 60, 70, I'm going to say 75, 80% pretty much don't. So you got to think, we have 75% for, dang, how many generations is this? I'm going to say, let's say 20 generations. I'm not going to, it's more than that. It's been thousands and thousands of years of slavery. So imagine after the slavery, when the so-called abolishment or emancipation or proclamation of slavery had so-called ended. And we tried to form families. And we spoke about this on the other panels and other channels. And then I'm watching other things and just reading about it. We never really had a nuclear family. That didn't come into part until the more the end of the 50s to the 60s, because then we was finally able to. We was owning business, but you seen more African descendant people owning their home, owning property, because that was something they were saying. But then it got to a point they started discriminating against us for owning a home and property. We wouldn't get the loan, and it's like, why I can't get the loan? I can pay it off. But then now think about it. Even with the loans, and this is what's detrimental. Nobody talks about African descendant men in debt. I go to school, I don't get to. That's why I also ask, what happened to the man that's so-called unsuccessful? What happened to the man that don't get that position? Because it's about, I can have a skill, but I still need some experience. You ever read applications? How in the world I'm going to have a year or two experience graduating from college? So you got to go gain some experience that has nothing to do with your degree. Yes, you learn some things. It's another avenue. But so let's do this on a regular basis. Now think about this. For 20 generations, the African descendant man has to go out and keep, don't matter how many degrees or have his skill, he got to keep doing things just to make a profit. Think about that. Profit, P-R-O-P-H-E-T, P-R-O-F-I-T. Well, you know how to spell profit. I say not P-R-O, P-H-E-T, P-H-O. That's a profit. Or P is P-R-O-P-H-E-T. That's why I say it. That's funny because they spelt and sound the same way. So you had to think. So that was for years and years and years and years and years went by. Now even I have to do the same thing. You know how many times I had to learn skills and keep reinventing myself? People talk about stick with one thing. No. It's in the world we live in, it's not. It's, in some people's cases, it's not possible. Because if you don't get a promotion, you don't get a pay raise, and you trying to better your life, you get stuck. Then if you get let go prematurely, because based on you don't get fired because a lot of people don't do their job, they don't come to work. No, you get let go because it's a position. It's a power position that the people that's supervising you is in. I seen it. I went through it. I go through it. So I remember seeing a little caricature or cartoons. It was the husband, the wife behind him. He sitting down like reading a book or whatever, and it says in the bubble, "Honey, you did great and successful." But then the husband in his bubble said, "So what happened to all the unsuccessful men?" What happens? And that's what we're not looking at. So now, let's fast forward. We are in 2019. We're seeing more African descendant women saying there's love in other races. But now it's slowing down. Now you get to see. If we actually zoom in on interracializing, intermingling of so-called love, is it really love? Or is it based on to position? Because women, I've noticed women see a survival. Men, we see the future. A lot of men won't do things based on the future account. Some men don't see that, but some men got to see it later, but then they still got to live with their choices, like the drug dealer. Okay, he see it, but then now he like, wow, such as he out of it, it's been 5-10 years. Like, man, look what I did. And he goes back and he's able to help. I've been told that nobody want to listen to an African descendant man who don't have children, who's not married, who's a mama's boy per se, or he's not have a certain stature. Yeah, I will be disqualified for everything, right? But if you don't listen to what I say, you listen to those guys, they talking about the delivering part. They are at the end part. They're not in the recovery or the healing. They're not healed and they're not recovering. I'm the recoverer one. So if the Almighty Creator, and I can keep working harder, and this is one of my manifestations. I want to be one of those men, and I want the YouTube to be my record. I want all my information that I write down to literally And I got a book. Literally, it's called Record. I want this to be my record to tell people and to show people that you can be where I'm from. It's hard, but then hopefully by then, it won't be hard for these young African descendant men. They don't gotta just go find race love. And that goes to another point. Think about it. I was watching the women, over 100,000, 200,000 on this woman channel, Beyond Black and White Elite. And the women said, I don't hate black men, never been with the same quote unquote black men, they're black women. You can see their pictures in the profile. You can see videos they watching. So I don't know how many create fake profiles you can make. You can do it on purpose, but still, it got to be something to it. Because you got to remember, the storm just don't come. There's for the snow, it need a warm front and a cold front. It needs the weather to be a certain way, right? So this is not fake. That's they having a cold. They showing it. They advertising it. They creating seminars. They go into it. But the one thing about these, which I don't see with women, and this is still baffling, and we keep talking about it, why women don't talk about, I don't mean the pure, I mean the pureness. The pureness, men, we do it. We have all these things. Black Man Run, Black Fathers Together, Black Fathers Unite. We have these groups. But when women start, they don't start off with that. They start off, but it's funny though how they start. They start with downing us. Women will down you. Then they'll start saying, let's uplift women. But remember, if you was down an African descendant man, and you just watching, look at these 18-year-old young ladies. The one little girl's like, I was going to the school, you could see the white boys on the woke side of black boy. I didn't like the way the black boys was dressed, quote unquote black. And so you got to already remember, she's getting a depiction in her head where they said, I don't want to, it wasn't nothing wrong with their dress, because the white boy had on new clothes, they had on them, they shirts, they cow canais, they khaki type stuff. She was fascinated by that and their look. But just because he had on new clothes too, it was like, oh, I'm not get down. She even said one of the boys didn't have on Jordans, and he just had on something that wasn't appealing to her, because the girl was Lady A asked her. And see, when she did that, it's kind of like the other comments kind of overwrote it, and the girl and the lady that wrote the comment, nobody seen what she wrote. See? Women don't do this. They do this. If you get what I mean. Women don't do this. See how I brought that comment up? See, that one boy, he didn't dress as them, but he got on clean clothes and everything, but he didn't have the look she desired. So she went over here to the white boy and did this. See how you look at me? This is me. This is me to you. This is white men. This is every race man to me. This is me. This is every other race man. This is me. This is every other race man. You see where if I say no, I got lesser room, wiggle room. He say no, he do something. He got more of a wiggle room. See the opportunity you created for him? And that's what we've been doing for the last 10 generations, but heavily more in the last 20 years. Remember, we're only 50 years out of voting. We keep forgetting we're not that far out of a lot of things that America was plagued with that we don't talk about anymore. We try to go around. I don't go around the facts and the truth. You see how I do it? And think about it. And this is not a diss to us. I just start thinking. Think. Use your brain. Don't just say, God, like instance. Okay, like you believe in God. Who is God? What is God? Who governs God? Nobody ever want to think about that. Nobody think about that. But then we wonder why. I think, define what you're doing. Define. So when these women going out, you know what I seen? They're not saying women be strong, be a good woman, learn. I don't know. Like I don't care. You know why I wouldn't really care about who a woman. Because it's important to me. Because you know why? Because my mother is important to me. She showed me a woman can work hard and at the same time do her part. My father wasn't there. So imagine if you choose a man that understands. You worked 8 hours. I worked 8 hours too. But when I come home, I should be working on the roof. I should be looking at the house that we're living in, the foundation we helped build and create, and the wife keeping it together. So why I'm doing that? Why my wife don't know how to cook? I'm not jealous of these white dudes with these so-called successful, what we want to say, educated African descendant women. Because you know why? She can't do nothing for me. I don't want to go out to sell songs and thinking, okay, that's how we gonna live. I want her to be able to cook that meal. I know how to cook the meal. I want to be able to cook the meal. While I'm cooking the meal, I want her to be folding up the line. You gotta be doing things that's gonna work better for us. I don't want to go pay a person to do that. Then we have a child, my daughter gonna see, man, my mother is successful and she can keep. That's the nuclear family we never established. But we up there talking about black men ain't this, we ain't that, do ain't that. And then they talk about we ain't didn't get with another race man. So what? Then when you get to other race men, like women say, at least you made him work for it. He didn't work for it. All he did he did basically a nigga shit. He showed her a little time, a little space, and he worked for it. He ain't worked for it. He had no. It was easy. If a woman told me to have this, and that, and this, and that, I'm white. If I was 6'5", white man, I'd be fucking married by now. That's not saying, this not like the Oprah and all these stupid ass black people that in the history you watch their videos, oh, I wish I was white. Never that is me. I'm just stating the truth. I watch, I go outside. This is, what I'm speaking on is not just a YouTube. Oh, like, we got to stop saying that. And see, why they tried to frame me. And why are they trying to frame me? I don't care if they don't want to interview. I want to go speak the truth. Because I'm going to ask you a question. Why? Why is it that way in your head? But outside, when I go, I don't see that. I see what you're saying and more of other things. If you got 100%, you only using 20%. What about the other 80% of things that's going on? That's 20%. As you know, we don't want to listen to the 20%. We don't listen to the 20%. Because if we wouldn't have to worry about, let me put a white person in my advertisement. Even the chicks will talk about having white friends. I want to say, but I said, no, the creator, like, leave it alone now, let them go. You can speak on them, let them go, don't go into they act, because they don't want to listen. They want to fight you. Because I even wrote, I'm trying to find it, to this one, I probably deleted it. I wish I had saved it and wrote it down. I got it somewhere. The lady said, "Oh, now you want to sound. Where was you at?" I said, where was you at? Blah 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 years ago. I said, man, I think at the time I was 34. I said I'm 34. I wasn't alive. I was a baby in 30 years. I was 2, 3. I was 4 years old 30 years ago. I said that don't even make sense. But I said you looking at it and reading this now. Then she started doing all that. I said, ma'am, I'm not there. I didn't even entertainment. If you can see a lot of my comments, you can go in the videos I liked and wrote. I'm not arguing. You see how I'm challenging the mind. Like the white people want to use nigger. Why you want to use nigger? Don't say that we use it. No. I'll let you say that. No, I'm asking you. Don't deflect and dodge. I'm asking you, just like I'm doing now. Why did they want to say nigger so bad? They never answer that question. And that's what I'm doing with y'all. Why you want to go intermingle, interracialize so bad? Because you telling me there's no white men that hurt their daughters, that discipline their sons wrong, that don't have no murders, no kills. They don't do that. White people are the best shit since sliced bread. They don't do wrong. Arabic men, they don't treat their wives wrong. You don't see them smacking. You don't see that. You don't see them in their face, slamming them and shaking them. No, that don't happen. We try to say, I don't do that. So if you generalize and say, oh, but if you generalize, I'm not offended, but it don't make sense because they don't do it too. I never punched okay, you say, I can show you a Indian man that hurt women. I never hurt a woman, but somehow you got a stigma to hate me, but since you never been in a relationship, see, it didn't happen to you. So it don't correlate to you. But what did I do to you? Why am I wrong? I and I'm see, and this is the thing about people. They want to say, "Oh, you did no, I didn't do that. No, I never did that. No, when I knew I like the pastor want to say when he tried to put me in others, I said, Pastor, no, I didn't do that. I said no. All he can do is smile because I'm not lying. I didn't do that. I didn't. So how can you just say? So your teaching, it's not. It's helping me because I'm understand. If I wasn't the understanding person, but that's why I say I sit there and listen and let me see what I can get out of this. This is not. If you're talking about dudes in the hood that hurt people, I don't have nothing to say about that. Now, when you start saying, "Dude, them other guys was this," no, that wasn't the case. I didn't walk around with the gun. So usually the guys got the guns put on them. It was a young dude just going to school, minding his business. Am I right? Am I wrong? Am I just making this up? Or am I just saying it to say it? I'm not defending those, which as we call the guys that was educated. We weren't educated. They said I was smart. I wasn't smart. I just didn't do stupid. I wasn't in the street. That was all. I didn't do good until mainly I did bad through all of school until I got to high school. Because now it was as everything was like, oh man, this everything. I got it because they finally put everything together. But when I finally started putting everything together, I finally got it. It wasn't nothing because I was black. No. But what helped? What helped? What has helped us in interracial relations? I want to know what helped. How far? I mean, show me some cold. I've been searching, and everything I see is not. And that's the truth. A lot of our movements, it was a lot of independent. We also talk about we moved together. No, we didn't. It was the first African descendant person to do that. That was by themselves, literally. And they got an opportunity in chess. I'm not saying their family wasn't around and friends and people to help, but I mean, it wasn't as there was a African descendant doctor and seen them and opened the door. It never goes that way for none of us. It don't work that way. We opened our own door, but thankful for the doors ahead of us. Now other avenues has been opened. So if it was the first doctor, now here come the first neurosurgeon, African descendant woman. That's on the books. Here's the first electrician that did this, and that. The first, whatever we want to say the first was, because the avenues was finally been open. And you would thought, since I'm an African descendant man, and there are good African descendant men, the avenue's open. But know what we have done, and this is very destructive. Since now the doors, the avenues are open. If I don't make $60,000 a year, I'm not so, I guess, ambitious about certain things. I'm not eligible to be a husband. I'm about to be 37 in 14 days, and I'm single. And my friend, I see. I don't even get into it, but we just have to think on what have interracial relationships or togetherness or interracial. How has that helped us up to 2019 going into 2020? How has that really helped us? So what I say unto us, I say unto all, it's our path, it's our journey, it's our choice. Choose wisely. I hope you have a great day. I did wanted to do tomorrow is Sunday, and I want to say this real quick. Interracializing and intermingling never helped us in the racial togetherness. And as an African descendant man, I am a leader. So if an African descendant man choose to go into a marriage or relationship with another race woman, he still have power of the house, the control. When an African descendant woman think about this, when she goes to she falls. That's why I call it patriarch and matriarch. She still falls under his leadership. She can't do nothing that's against him. See, but that's why when men do it, it's not a big problem. But when women do it, it is. That's why. If that can explain anything to women. Because you got to form and create. If your husband is the leader and he's the foundation, that's what she has to follow. Selah.